I disagree, Detective. A hit and run is a perfect cover. I thought for a second. Yeah, I suppose you're right, Marcy said as she stirred some sugar into her espresso. What if they were watching her? When they realized she was coming to talk to you, Father, having seen you guys speak at the office, maybe they decided to act. Father Dom thought for a moment. I can see that. But if in fact this was a preventive strike, it was extremely violent and sudden. Someone has something big to hide. Mr. Pat walked in. Lady and gents, good morning to all. In unison, we greeted Mr. Pat, and he added, As I was closing the bar last night, someone told me they saw the vehicle that struck the young lady. We turned to Mr. Pat with anticipation, and I asked, Did they get a plate number? No. All they saw was a black Escalade Cadillac SUV. It deliberately drove onto the sidewalk and struck the lady, they said. Dom asked, How about the driver? Did they see who was driving? Mr. Pat replied, No, I asked them that. It was dark, and the SUV had tinted windows. I took my last sip of espresso and remembered something. Wait a second. I saw a black Escalade parked at Mrs. Parker's home when I visited her. Was there anyone else there? Marcy inquired. No, as far as I know, it was me and her. So the SUV parked at their home must be hers or Parker's, I replied. Guys, I have to go meet with the partners. I'll see you after, Marcy said. Why are you going there? Dom asked. Marcy and I looked at each other, and I replied, She's involved in an investigation of the partners for potential insider information fraud. Really? Father Dom asked. Now that may shed some light on this mystery, he said, making a face as he downed his espresso. Wow, this stuff is bitter. It's better with sugar, Father, Marcy said, smiling. I'm going with you to the partners, I said. Marcy retorted, The hell you are. I think we need to go back and talk to all our suspects again, but this time we'll change it up. Father, you talk to Mrs. Parker and Melody. By the way, check the Escalade for damage. I'll talk to the partners, I said. Mancuso, you're not going with me to see Evans and Albert. You are not part of my investigation. I cannot have you there with me, Marcy added emphatically. Dominic said, We still need to talk to Mrs. Parker's father. He's part of our suspect list, isn't he? I replied, Very much so, but he was in the Caribbean. Find out from Mrs. Parker if he's returned. By the way, the body is to be released today to the family for cremation. If so, and if we find the murder weapon, we won't be able to match the head wound to the object. Marcy, can you help with that? Dom asked. I can call the coroner and ask that they hold off. But I'm going to get questioned about that. I'm not investigating the suicide, Marcy retorted. I said, Tell them you want to make sure the suicide isn't related to your investigation and you need the body one more day. I'll get some shit for that, but what's new, right? You have the coroner's number? I gave Marcy the number and she made her call. I expected some blowback from the family, but the guy was dead anyway, so what was the hurry, unless they were covering something up? Marcy disconnected her call. Guess what? What? I replied. The body was cremated this morning. We are SOL, she said. Dr. Death promised me he was going to hold off for one day, I said a bit loudly. Dom glanced at me. By Dr. Death, I presume you're referring to the coroner. His name is Frankie, I said, hitting the bar counter with my hand. Marcy said, I'm out of here. Let's reconvene here at noon or so. I'll call Miss Melody and Mrs. Parker to tell them I'm coming over, said Father Dom. What are you going to do, Joey? I'll wait a while and visit the partners after Marcy is done. Wouldn't want to interfere with an FBI investigation, I said, making a face at Marcy. She stuck her tongue out at me and walked out. I turned to Mr. Pat. Mr. Pat, you can't be here 18 hours a day. Go home. We'll open the bar at 2 in the afternoon. Come in about 4, please. Okay, I'll do that. Everything is clean and ready to open. See you then, Mr. Pat said as he walked out. Besides being the manager of the pub, Patrick O'Sullivan was like an uncle to Dom and me. We shared any profits from the pub with Mr. Pat as if he was an owner. Father Dom and I stayed for a few minutes comparing notes to make sure we'd advanced the investigation by asking the right questions.